I'm joined by Professor Hassan Mwakimako, and like I said earlier on, we're going to debunk the president's address yesterday, his third State of the Nation address. What took place? What did he miss? What did he mention that was worthwhile? So that's what we're debunking today. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
I'm happy to have you here today.
It's always my pleasure.
On a Friday.
Yes, it's always my pleasure.
Prof, I'm certain you got to watch the president's State of the Nation address.
Yeah.
What stood out for you?
I didn't watch it live.
Yes.
But when you people invited me here to come,
yes,
I said, could you please send me? Because I was in class yesterday most
Yeah.
of the time. Yeah. So I was lucky that I was able to watch it recorded.
Yeah.
And I listened to it very, very keenly.
Yes.
And my first take is that if the president would have started the speech with, I have a dream idea, I have a dream. Because the larger part of his address was about dreaming. It was about dreaming of what Kenya should be.
Yes.
So he started with, I have a story to tell, but stories are told of things that have already happened.
Yes.
So this is not a story to tell. This is a dream to dream. So maybe the president next time he should tell us what is his dream.
Yeah.
And he did explain his ideas in the form of dreams that he has.
Yes.
Very big dreams, gigantic dreams.
Yeah.
And hopefully maybe they'll be able to realize these dreams. But they will otherwise they will just remain as dreams.
Yeah.
My second take is that I think it is traditional that State of the Nation address are made by the president. But I think it's about time that State of the Nation address are also made by leaders of the opposition, particularly in parliament, so that we are able to hear a different story from the story that is being told by the leadership present. Because the leadership that is present, it paints a picture of advancement. It paints a positive picture of its leadership. But if the leader of the opposition is allowed also to make a State of the Nation address, we might get alternative views of what the president says or what the leadership says. We might get alternative statistics. When we might get a critique of what is the State of the Nation from another perspective. The perspective that we are given is only that perspective of the leadership.
Because again, when you're a leader and you're asked to talk about, it's more like your scorecard. Like, what have you done, right?
Exactly.
I'm going to talk about the good things that I've done.
Of course, and that is why I'm thinking that maybe the leader of the opposition must also have the opportunity to tell us the misses. We are only told of what the targets are, what the hits are.
Yeah.
But we need to be told what are the misses also. And the other point that I want to reiterate is that I think people need to look at the details.
Yes.
Because they say the devil is in the details. We need to look at the details. What the leader says, and what are the details, and what is it that the citizens think about those details. Yeah. I think this gives us a very balanced perspective of what the State of the Nation is.
Yeah.
The president, for almost 2/3 of his address, he was speaking about economics.
Let me ask you, during the State of the Nation address, what should have he addressed? Because you're talking about him talking about his dreams, and if you look at the front page of the Standard newspaper today, they've put it out there, the dreams, right?
Yeah.
The the proposed construction of 250 mega or medium dams, right?
Yeah.
There is an announcement of dual or major highways. That is the 28,000 kilometer, including the Rironi, Naivasha, Nakuru, right?
Yeah.
On energy, he also talked about the 10,000. He aims to add 10,000 megawatts of power through geothermal, solar, wind, and hydro. And then on education, he talked about a boost of 700 billion. So you're talking about dreams, like he's got these plans,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I intend to do this. I want to do this. Is
Yeah.
that what we need to be hearing during the State of the Nation address?
That is one of the ways in which you can approach the State of the Nation address.
Yes.
This is the planning ahead for the nation.
Yes.
But then also look at what is the real position right now. What are the challenges that we are facing right now? And how do you plan to address those challenges?
Yes.
I think this part of the State of the Nation, it didn't come out very clearly. That's why I'm saying the president should started with the address with "I have a dream."
Yes.
Instead of saying "I have a story to tell," because the story that he has to tell is the 2 years or 3 years of his presidency.
Yeah.
What has happened? Why has it happened? And what kind of mitigations is he planning to ensure that it doesn't happen like that again? So this part was completely left out of the State of the Nation address, and this is what an alternative State of the Nation address would have raised. What are the citizens saying? About the state of the nation. We only had what the president's economic advisors told him, and asked him in terms of to speak about his plans. But the question is, what is the current status?
Yes.
The current status should be, if you go to the hospitals, are people getting the services that they deserve? If you go into our houses, do we have clean water?
Yeah.
Has our agriculture improved?
Yes.
Are we safe? As a people, are we safe? Is there national cohesion? Are we corrupt-free society? Have we addressed issues of impunity? Because these are the issues that everyday citizens raise. These are issues that the president has to address.
Yeah.
But all these, I think they were left out of,
Yeah.
of the address, and I think they're the most significant aspects of the State of the Nation. It is very characteristic of the president to keep on telling us that the Asian tigers during independence, and we gained independence with them almost at the same time, but the Asian tigers have surpassed us by very far. And this is the examples that he's always using. And he dreams of Kenya to be at the same level as the Asian tigers. In fact, in his address, he says the president of Malaysia, I think, is going to visit, and MPs were clapping. But the most important thing to know for him is, what kind of strategies did these Asian tigers deploy?
Yeah.
Are we prepared to deploy the same strategies, both economic, social, and political strategies? Are we prepared to deploy those strategies to ensure that we begin the journey to reach where they have reached?
Yeah.
And I don't think that we are even closer
To that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll come back to that, because I know our president has also talked about getting Kenya to be a first world country. Like, what does it take to do that? But let us look at what stood out. He spoke about the 5 trillion transformation blueprint, right?
Yes.
And this is meant to push Kenya into a first world status over the next 20 to 30 years, right? And he framed it as a generational shift anchored in big infrastructure, new funding model, and less resilience on borrowing. Are we able to even get to, first of all, what would it take for our country, for Kenya, to be a first world country?
First, and very important,
Yes.
discipline. We must be a disciplined people in whatever that we do. We must be resilient, and we must love our nation.
Yeah.
We must not be selfish, and we must adhere to the rule of law. We must adhere to the Constitution. We must not flout the Constitution, and we must be ready to face the consequences of impunity, corruption, and flouting the Constitution. So it's not about numbers. it's about attitude. We need to change our attitude. We need to know that we are doing it for Kenya, not for ourselves, not for our individual interests. But these they do not appear in any State of the Nation address. You know, these values, they do not appear in any State of the Nation address. What appears is our projection and numbers, and what those numbers mean.
Yes.
You know, but these projections cannot come if we are indisciplined. We will not achieve anything if we are indisciplined. We will not achieve anything if we do not follow the rule of law. We will not get anywhere if the basis of our everyday living is impunity. So these are the issues that needs to be addressed. But we do not, I didn't hear from the president what kind of strategies that are there that will enable us to live those dreams, to achieve those dreams. We have only heard of what these dreams mean if they are achievable. You know, if we're able to achieve. But we didn't address ourselves to why haven't we been able to achieve these dreams for the last 60 years of independence? Why have others been able to achieve these dreams during that period? So we need to really look at what is it that we need to do as a people, as a nation. You know?
What would you have heard the president talk about? What did you, as a citizen, what would you wish he would have talked about yesterday?
I would have wished that he had talked about, we have a challenge of corruption in Kenya. And as a result of corruption, we have lost a lot of resources. And in the next 5 years, these are the strategies that we'll be putting in place to address corruption. You know? You know, the Asian tigers went through a difficult time. Thieves were killed. Corrupt people were killed. Corrupt judges were jailed. Corrupt politicians were killed. And as a result of that, they created a disciplined public service, a disciplined civil service, a disciplined citizen. But you know, we are just talking about the Asian tigers. We are not looking the in-depth of how the Asian tigers reached where they are. You know, and the issues that will help us to reach where they are, we sidetrack them. You know, we do not make them the core of our conversation. You know, instead we make these projections, knowing very well that for these projections to be able to be achieved, there is the devil that we need to address.
We're not talking about what needs to be done to get us there.
We're only talking we're not talking about what needs to be done. You know, we are not addressing ourselves to how do we achieve this. You know, we are not looking inward to say what that will our behavior enable us to achieve what we are planning to achieve. So we are leaving to address a very, very significant factor that if we address it, then we'll begin the journey to achieving these dreams. You know, if you go back to the books, there are so many stories of projects that have wasted a lot of money, you know? And nothing has been done, you know? Yet here, we want to bring in other projects, you know? How sure are we that these projects will not waste money like the previous ones? Because actually the reason why we are not where the others are is because we have wasted a lot of our resources, you know? So, are we putting measures to ensure that all these dreams, these big dreams, trillions of shillings that we want to put into these projects, are we sure that we have the culture that will enable us to realize the objectives of our projections? Do we have that culture? Have we said what we need to do to ensure that we inculcate those cultures? I didn't hear anything. I've never heard anything of this nature in the State of the Nation addresses.
If we're to look at from his address and the plans that he has talked about, let's look at what he has actually implemented, right? What his government has actually implemented. And you're right when you say we're adding more projects, yet there are half-baked projects on this side.
They have challenges, yeah. They have challenges. Those projects have challenges.
Yes.
Challenges that citizens are raising.
Yes.
You know, and we are not addressing those challenges.
Yeah.
We are assuming that everything is okay. You know, we are adding more and more projects. Why don't we look at what we have and what is it that we are facing, and address those ones and say, okay, now from here we can move forward because we have addressed the failures in the previous challenges. You know? And you just need to take the most spoken of projects, the affordable housing.
Yes.
What have people said about affordable housing? You know,
people said a lot, and honestly, you feel like it's those from the government who are actually supporting affordable housing.
Exactly. So what have people said about affordable housing? Have you addressed the challenges that people have raised about affordable housing?
Yeah.
You know, before saying we want to put more.
He's not. Did you feel like he's listening?
I think there is a lot of cynicism in the way in which these issues are addressed.
Yeah.
You know, because of course the president is listening, but his response is that, oh, these people, they are cynical. You know, these people, they are opposing. You know, they are and it is normal where when you want to develop, there'll be people who will be cynical, the people who will be opposed, the people who will not see your vision.
Yes.
But for me, I don't think if that is the right thing to do. I think you need to listen and address those challenges, and then say, okay, there was something which was going wrong. We have addressed it. Now, can we move forward? But if you completely ignore the issues that are raised about these projects and continuously say that we are going to add more, then there could be a point that we are missing somewhere, and this could lead for us not realizing the very positive objectives that we want to realize in the future. Yeah.
With his presidency right now, I think he's on the 3rd year, right?
Yes.
What do you think he needs to improve on?
I think he needs to listen more to others, and he needs to find a way He needs to listen more to others, and in the process of listening, he needs to find a way to readjust his thinking, you know, about what others are saying. Because I think what the president is doing is he has his vision, and he says he must implement this vision.
Yes.
Irrespective of what everybody else says, you know, he must implement it.
Yeah.
But you know, sometimes you could be wrong, but because you are so convinced yourself, you do not see the mistakes that you are making. So the best thing for you to do is to listen to what others are saying and try to adjust, you know, to say that, try to be flexible. Yeah, you cannot be the only one who thinks right. Yeah, you know, because there will be others who see things in a different way. You know, so you must allow critique, you know, and work with your critique and see where can you be able to move closer to your critiques, so that whatever it is that you are doing, then you just don't do it with your own thinking. You do it with the thinking of others as well. You know,
there's something that we've seen. Affordable housing. A lot of people have talked about it, and the citizens have spoken about it as well. Yeah. And we've heard people say we do not need this, right? But then we've also heard people talk about social health authority.
Yes.
And how when they go to the hospital, there are people who say, I couldn't get service.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then, so most of the times, and I'm talking about the areas that we've had a lot of noise, right? Of course, corruption, we still hear a lot of noise. It's happening. When you look at his manifesto, right? Affordable housing is part of his manifesto.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Universal healthcare.
It's part of his manifesto.
Part of his manifesto,
that's
right?
the reason.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the reason why he says that people voted for me.
Yes.
And when they voted for me, I had told them what I was going to do.
Yes.
You know, and they gave me the vote to implement this manifesto.
Yes.
Fine. You know, it's okay.
How does he take a U-turn?
But no. It's not about taking a U-turn.
Yeah.
It's about looking at the challenges that are raised as a result of the implementation of your manifesto.
Yeah.
You know, nobody says that we shouldn't have SHA. No, but people are saying SHA has some challenges.
Yes.
You know, so you need to address those challenges in SHA. Okay. Nobody's saying that we shouldn't have affordable housing. You know, it says there are problems in affordable housing. You know, so we need to address those problems in affordable housing. You know, so for example, the very simple question people are asking, you know, the affordable housing is built on public land. You know, who owns the house? Yeah. If it's built on public land, who owns the house? Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I buy a flat
unit.
there, would be entitled to a title of that. And how do I transfer a public utility to private individuals?
Yeah.
Those are the issues that you need to address, to tell Kenyans.
Yes.
You know, this is how we are going to deal with this problem. Okay. And people are saying, who is supplying? You know,
Yeah.
who is supplying? Who is benefiting?
Yeah.
So you need to look into the details of that. Is it an open process where every Kenyan is able to win
Yes.
tenders to build these houses? Is the supply side available to every Kenyan who is willing to do that? And these are the issues that the Asian tigers addressed.
Yeah.
You know, where there is the slightest indication of corruption, then somebody has to take responsibility. Yeah. So it didn't just happen as a miracle. As he says, it's not a miracle. You know, but what is it that they did to ensure that it is not a miracle, it is realizable, and that everybody else is going to benefit?
Yeah.
You know, so you need to address these issues of corruption.
And you see, I don't think we're ready to do the dirty work. And I say the dirty work because when you talk about corruption, it's so heavy.
Yes.
It's so heavy. A lot of people are involved that if you were to touch this person, then you're touching the next person and the next person. And we always say, are we able to clean it up?
And that is what the Asian tigers did. That is what they did. And that is why now with the Asian tigers, you cannot try to be corrupt.
So then there will be none left.
It's better. so you have to take that position to say, let the last corrupt person go, so that whoever remains, then they know that this is what needs to happen.
Yeah.
You know, all these developed countries, the ones that are developing rapidly, their biggest enemy initially was corruption, impunity, the culture of impunity.
Yeah.
And the moment you address corruption and the culture of impunity, then you are able to do things straight. You are able to realize the benefit of your investments. Right now, I think the realization of the benefits of investment is minimal to the public. But individuals are benefiting more than the public.
Yeah.
And the reason why these individuals are benefiting more is because they are engaged in corrupt activities. And it's open, you know. This one, nobody, you don't have to second guess it.
Yeah.
It's there, it's open, everybody talks about it.
Yeah.
You know. But it is never addressed with a kind of concentration that we hear the president speak about.
Okay.
And if he does that, if he says that maybe in the next State of the Nation address, he says that now with these dreams, you know, I've realized that these dreams are not going to be realized if I do not address the issue of corruption, and I am beginning to address the issue of corruption. The moment he says that, and the moment that is implemented, then we'll be able to say, okay, in the next 10 years, we are going to move towards a developed economy.
Yeah. Because even in his address, he mentioned it, yes, in passing though, right? There was like very little focus on matters corruption. But I want us to also look at when he spoke about a new way of funding development, right? Yes. He said that there will be no more borrowing spree. So he insisted that Kenya won't fund its dreams through traditional loans, but through a national infrastructure fund, a sovereign wealth fund, and then revenue from minerals, natural resources, and privatization. Is this possible? Or do you want to say that's a dream?
It is possible. It is
Yeah.
possible. It is possible if we are able to use our resources
Yeah.
to our own benefit. And what resources do we have? Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever resources that we have, if we have minerals, then those minerals should be used to build our nation.
Yeah.
So the sovereign wealth has been used in other countries to really build their nation, their
Yeah.
country.
Yeah.
You know, a country like Norway, for example, when Norway discovered oil,
Yeah.
they made a conscious decision that the oil belongs to the people of Norway, and it must be utilized to the benefit of the people of Norway.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's a resource that they have, and they consciously said a significant part of our resources will go to invest in our development. That's what is sovereign wealth is.
Yeah.
You know, so our resources in Kenya must be utilized to develop Kenya. Here we discovered huge
Yes.
amount of gold. Yeah. Is this gold going to belong to the nation, or is it going to belong to the individual? You know?
Yep.
So if you are serious about sovereign wealth, this belongs to the nation. It doesn't belong to the individual. And how is it going to be utilized to build our economy? Yeah. What else? What other minerals do we have?
Yeah.
You know, we have in the coast here, we have niobium somewhere, rare earth. You know, these must be utilized to develop the nation, and we want to see strategies that are going to be used, policies that are going to be deployed to ensure that whatever is gained from these minerals, first and foremost, is that it has to serve. It has to be for the benefit of our nation.
Yeah. Prof, I'm just looking at the minerals that we have in Kenya, right?
Yeah.
I'm seeing we have gold, there's iron ore, there's soda ash. We have rare earth.
Rare earth, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
niobium and copper, right?
Yes.
Who has been benefiting from all this? Why is it that we have all these minerals? And
that is the question that we need to ask. And that those are the strategies that we need to put through to ensure that we benefit as a state, as a nation. We benefit from those resources. You know, we had a company in Kwale here that was mining titanium. You know, we allowed that company to export these mineral resources raw. You know, to export raw. And what did we benefit from this exportation?
Yeah.
They said, we gave royalties, we paid taxes. You know? Which other country only demands taxes from its mineral resources?
But the minerals are ours.
They're ours, yes. So you cannot tell us that I've paid taxes and I've paid royalties. But you have taken something that belongs to us. And you have exported and you have earned money. And then you're telling us, I'm giving you royalties. I'm giving you taxes. Why should we only wait for taxes? Why can't we just say, this is ours, we are going to exploit it, and we're going to sell it for our own benefit?
Yeah.
So this is what we need to begin to rethink. That these resources that we have, if they're being exploited, they're exploited to our own benefit.
Yes.
And that is where you build sovereign wealth. You cannot just say sovereign wealth.
Yeah.
No. You must ensure that your wealth really belongs to the sovereign, to the people. And sovereign, you know, by the way, sovereign is the people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not about talking. It's about making hard decisions, you know, that that the owners of these means of production, global imperialists, will not really like, you know. So you must prepare yourself to challenge this global imperialism and assert your authority over what belongs to you.
I'm looking at this conversation on the gold that was discovered, right?
Yeah.
And this was in Kakamega County.
Yes.
Yeah. So the government assured residents of the Isulu and Bushangala areas in Kakamega County that they will benefit from the newly discovered gold deposits. It's worth 683 billion shillings. It's valued at 683 billion shillings.
Yes.
Before we even get to the residents in Kakamega County, how are we benefiting? Like, how is the country benefiting from this?
And this is where our thinking gets it wrong.
Yeah.
Because the gold has been discovered in Ikolomani.
Yes.
Is it Ikolomania?
Yes.
Already the narrative is twisting to say that this belongs to the people of Ikolomani.
Yes.
You know, so benefit should only be to those people. No, that's not the way to go about.
Yeah.
It is to say, you look at it as our nation. You know.
Yeah.
How are we going to utilize this resource, it's a national resource, to benefit the whole nation? You know, they say, oh, the people of Koloma, you know what it means when they say they will benefit? They'll dig some little boreholes for fresh water. They'll build a clinic. You know, maybe there's a road that they will tarmac somehow.
Yeah.
You know, and then they'll tell the people, you have benefited. You know, you see, you have clean water. There is a hospital, a clinic that we have built. You have a school that we have built.
Yes.
Also, you have benefited.
Yeah.
That is the completely wrong attitude that we take to deceive our people. The people of Kwale, where they were mining titanium, that's what they were told. You know, that you will benefit. They will build some schools. They will provide some kind of sustenance to the local communities.
Yes.
Now those people have left, you know, and the people of Kwale do not see any benefit anymore.
Doesn't this feel like what was happening in the colonial era?
It's probably worse.
It's like we have this mineral.
It is probably worse, yes, because I think for the colonial authorities we could understand that they were here to exploit us.
Yeah.
You know, but after independence, we were supposed to do things for ourselves, for our own benefit.
Yes.
So it is worse when a foreigner comes and steals from you, and when your brother and your sister steals from you, you know, that is worse.
Yeah.
Because basically it says that this person doesn't understand why they're there, why you are there, doesn't want even you to be there. You know. So colonial authorities, of course, they exploited our resources.
Yeah.
You know, and our idea of independence was for us to be able to do these things for ourselves. Now, if we gained independence and we are not doing that, that's a worst case scenario of what independence means. I want to pick these examples that it was given in the State of the Nation address about SHA. And this is why I'm saying sometimes we need to reevaluate our thinking.
Yeah. And
so that the citizens, you see, there was a statement there that says, in terms of provision of health equipment, you know, we or the government or SHA is going to engage in partnership with private individuals who will be buying these machines, and they put them in the hospitals. You know what that means? It means the benefit goes to the individual.
Yes, it does.
And the citizen who's supposed to enjoy that service pays for it.
Yes.
You know, and these are the things that I think a State of the Nation address that is given by a leader of the opposition will be able to pick, to say, look, do you know what it really means if you allow a private individual to bring in their equipment to a public hospital? Yeah, it means that private individual is benefiting from a national resource. You know, it also means that the citizen who is supposed to be served is asked to pay for that service. And this is the contradiction.
Why are we getting an individual to... So let's look at health.
Yes.
Health is devolved, right?
It is devolved, yes.
It's devolved, right?
Yeah.
And so meaning it's down to the counties, and the counties should ensure that all this is taken care of.
Exactly. Yeah.
When the government says that it's going to get individuals to be able to partner with, first of all, is it crossing the line?
This is the contradiction
Yeah.
that I'm saying, because health is devolved,
Yes.
but a significant percentage of the resources that are supposed to go into health are held by the national government.
Yes.
So these are the issues that the State of the Nation Address needs to say, what strategies are you putting across to ensure that health is 100% devolved?
Yeah.
If you say that you have improved the functionality of KEMSA, it doesn't address the issue of devolved health services. It doesn't address, And then you go and give an example that actually contradicts the idea of providing
Yes.
health services
Yeah.
to the citizens at affordable rate, or even universal health. It means you go to the hospital and you are treated and you go home. But here you go to the hospital and the doctor is prescribing for some kind of a test, and then you are told, well, this test is done in that place, and when you
Yes.
go there, they say
You pay.
you're supposed to pay.
Yes.
That's a contradiction, So we need to be able to say, if Kenya needs to reach where the Asian tigers are,
Yeah.
we really need to rethink our leadership. We need to rethink our perspective, our approach to leadership,
Yes.
our approach to economic development, our approach to service provision. Yeah.
Let's look at the cost of living
Yeah.
and what he talked about.
Yeah.
He said that inflation is reducing. He said food prices will drop with irrigation, and that economic stability is returning, right?
Yes.
And right now, Kenyan households are still crying under the weight of high prices, right? What do you think about him touching on the cost of living? He's saying, yes, inflation is reducing, food prices will drop within with irrigation.
This president, he's very convincing when he speaks. He's a master of rhetoric. Yeah, he has what I call is the gift of the gab. Yeah, he can speak.
Yeah.
Can speak positively about himself.
Yes.
But I think he needs to ask ordinary Kenyans. He's advised by people who see the cost of living has reduced because they are numbers.
Yeah.
That inflation has reduced from 6% to 4% 4% inflation is very high.
Yeah.
Of course, yes, it has reduced, but still this is very high. It's something that Kenyans cannot afford, an inflation rate of 4.6%. It's very high. Inflation rate has to be 0.7, 0.8, not 4 point something. No. So if you have reduced inflation, yes, but is it affordable? The reduction in inflation itself doesn't mean that it's affordable to the ordinary citizens, because still food prices are very high.
Yeah.
So people get confused with the figures, and maybe the president also, he just told it has reduced. So if it has reduced,
so we should feel it as well.
Exactly, but
But we're not.
That's not the reality,
Right?
because Kenyans cannot afford.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look at the price of fuel. Yeah. It keeps on increasing. It keeps on increasing. Yeah. So what does that mean? It means the cost of production keeps on increasing. So where is this reduction of inflation? Where does it come from? Where are these numbers from? Because maybe next week, the organization that is responsible for monitoring the price of fuel, it will increase it by 4 shillings.
Yeah.
And if it increases by 4 shillings, it means then the cost of production also increases. Manufacturers will charge more because they'll push that to the consumer. So where does this idea come from?
Yeah.
Maybe people are looking at specific products,
Yeah.
and say, well, the price of maize flour has reduced. Maybe the price of maize flour should be 10 shillings per kilo, or maybe 50 shillings per kilo.
Yeah.
Maybe that is what Kenyans can afford.
Yeah.
If it is 80 shillings, it means Kenyans cannot afford. Yeah. Although it previously used to be 110, but now it has reduced to 80 shillings. So on the basis of that, then we can say inflation has reduced.
Yes.
But can Kenyans afford to buy 2 packets of flour for 80 shillings or 1 kilo of flour for 80 shillings? They can't. But in terms of economic figures, because it was 110 previously, and it has reduced, then inflation has reduced. That's not for ordinary Kenyans.
Yeah. Prof, what policy shift would actually bring down the cost of living, in your view?
I think improving agriculture, and this is something that every Kenyan needs to rethink. Yeah.
Yes.
I think Kenyans should stop this idea of buying from the shops and produce their own food. That even if you have a small piece of land and half an acre of land, you can produce your own food there, and that can take you around for the whole year.
Yes.
So Kenyans must move towards agriculture, for subsistence. Yeah. Instead of depending on importing, because they gave figures that are very high of importing maize, importing wheat, importing beans, maybe. But Kenyans can grow their own beans.
Yes.
Kenya can grow their own maize, even in small plots. There's an overemphasis on large scale farming. That's okay. You can do large scale farming, but for those who cannot do large scale farming, they can grow their own maize in their small plots. They can grow your own vegetables even in your balcony.
Yeah.
So there is a need for change in terms of what is it that I'm buying from the shops and what is it that I can produce myself. Yeah. So if every Kenyan is able to produce, even if it is 1 bag of maize per year, 2 bags of maize per year, it helps them with their everyday living.
It goes a long way.
It goes a very long way to ensure that a Kenyan is able to afford.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and the other thing is, I think we need to encourage many more young people to take agriculture seriously, to participate in food production. We are failing compared to our neighbors in terms of the involvement of young people in agriculture. Our neighbors in Tanzania, our neighbors in Uganda, many young people are now seriously into agriculture. But look at where we are driving our young people. We are driving our young people into
the digital space.
Into the digital space, semi-white collar jobs.
Yes.
We want them to be technical, to be plumbers, to be this, to be like that. But there's also another segment that they cannot be plumbers. We are not putting emphasis on them. There are many young people that can be encouraged to grow food, and also to grow food for export, even if at a small scale, and this we have to do with a lot of concentrated effort to ensure that we don't just create jobs in what we call towards the manufacturing sector, or jobs in housing and other places, but we also create jobs at the very basic necessity of life, agriculture.
I like that you've talked about agriculture, that pretty much farming itself, right? What is the biggest obstacle to stopping Kenya from feeding itself? Are we able to? I think we're able to feed ourselves.
We are able to feed ourselves, but we don't produce. We don't produce enough. But we are able. Kenya has the ability to feed itself without depending on importation, particularly of a commodity like maize, or beans, or other foods that vegetables.
Yes.
Why should we import vegetables, tomatoes, cabbage, or other kinds of vegetables? We also sometimes import spinach from Tanzania, things that we can grow, we need to begin to involve many more young people to food production. Help them to see food production as a way of sustaining our livelihood.
Yeah.
You know, many young people nowadays, they shun agriculture. They shun working on the farms.
Yeah.
You know, they think that working on the farms is for those who have not gone to school.
Yeah.
But I think those who have gone to school, if they get into agriculture, they do it much better.
Yeah.
You know, because they have they need a little bit of skill development, and then they catch up very fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the certain things that we saw growing up, and we just didn't take them up.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. Because I remember going to the farm with my mom.
Yeah.
You know, would go get like the maize farm.
Yes.
Right.
And you'll harvest.
We would harvest, and then
I grew up. I grew up like a young person in the 80s.
Yeah.
When Jomo Kenyatta was still the president.
Yes.
And I recall several occasions during the August holidays. The August holidays were the time for harvesting.
Yes.
Yeah. And schools will open, or they will say the school will open on this particular date. And Jomo Kenyatta will say, no, extend the holiday for 2 weeks, because these children have to help their parents to harvest, because it's the harvesting period.
Yeah.
You know, and that had a psychological effect of encouraging young people to see agriculture as a way to sustain yourself.
Yes.
As agriculture as noble, you know. But nowadays, young people they are not partaking of agriculture. They don't participate in food production, even if it is just watching. They don't. You know, so we need to keep on encouraging young people to participate in food production, to see if they will not be able to participate in the cultivation, they should participate in the harvesting.
Yeah.
You know, and you harvest coffee, you harvest maize, you harvest all kinds of foodstuffs that grows in your small farm, in your local rural area. You know, but nowadays, if you go to the rural areas, you don't see the small farms anymore. The only thing that you see are these huge plantations that end up producing for the purpose of selling to the citizens. You know, so again, you know, we would encourage large scale production, but again, would the citizen be able to afford? You know, the food will be there, but if the citizens are unable to afford, why don't you also encourage small scale holders, you know, to produce their own food?
Yeah.
Young people to participate in agriculture and produce their own food. There is a lot of land.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing that probably needs to happen is to bring in the infrastructure that will help. You know, there are places where you can create an irrigation scheme and bring in water and divide into small plots and ask young people to produce whatever agriculture product that they are willing to produce.
Yeah, I like that. So, Prof, if you had the presidency here just for 30 seconds, what's the one thing you'd tell him that Kenya needs right now?
President, please listen to the ordinary Kenyans.
Yeah.
Listen to what the ordinary Kenyans are saying. Yeah. Don't listen to advisors.
Yeah.
The advisors are far away from what the ordinary Kenyans are saying. Because the ordinary Kenyans, they see what their challenge is. And also try to seek solutions from these ordinary Kenyans. They can better advise on what is the best way to approach their challenges. The other things, of course, you can do the building of roads and things like that, the huge infrastructure projects. Ordinary Kenyans cannot advise you. But in terms of the daily livelihoods of ordinary Kenyans, listen to them. Yeah, they have the solutions.
Yeah. Thank you so much for making time today. And what's your biggest hope and your biggest fear after the State of the Nation address yesterday?
My biggest hope is that these projects are realizable, and that they are not implemented at the cost of the backbone of Kenyans.
Yes.
Meaning that they should not be used as a way to tax Kenyans more than they are able to afford.
Yeah. I like that. Thank you, Professor. I've been speaking to Professor Hassan Mwakimako, and of course we're looking at the state, we're looking at the President's nation address, his third State of the Nation address. I'll be right back. Good morning.